Chris Christie was at an event recently, a town hall meeting, and according to the Asbury Park Press, he made some hilariously silly remarks on the issue of marijuana, specifically legalizing marijuana. He said, quote, "I've had many taxpayers at town hall meetings who will ask me about why not legalize marijuana to make the taxes go a little bit higher. To me, that's blood money. I'm not going to put the lives of children and citizens at risk to put a little more money into the state coffers, at least not on my watch." Now, he also went on to say something even more absurd than that, and that's pretty fucking absurd. He's like, yeah, you know, where they've legalized it, that's not really helping with the revenue situation. It's not really helping with the revenue situation. We covered a story not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, that spoke about how Colorado has more money from that specifically, from taxes on marijuana. They don't know what to do with it all. The only time drugs would lead to blood money is when drugs are illegal. That's what these guys never get. That's what these guys never get through their thick head. When drugs are illegal, by definition, you have it on the black market and you have criminals handling it. That's when you get the mafia being incredibly powerful. That's when you get the cartels being incredibly powerful. If you legalize, tax it, and regulate it, you have a situation where you have it out in the open. You have legal businesses treating it like any other product. Instead of having cartels that are beheading people in Mexico growing your drugs, you can have Anheuser-Busch growing your drugs, or Walgreens growing your drugs, or any other company for that matter. You could have small farmers in America who start growing marijuana and growing hemp again. All you would get from a system where marijuana is legalized, taxed, and regulated is a better economic situation and a better situation when it comes to crime. All you have to do is look at the situation with Prohibition to understand exactly what would happen if you legalize marijuana. It was during Prohibition that the mafia became incredibly powerful, and it was during Prohibition that crime increased for alcohol and because of alcohol. When something is illegal, how do you solve a dispute? Through violence and intimidation. You can't go to the authorities, and this can't be done above ground, so you have to figure out some way to solve it underground. And typically when that happens, you get people who are thugs and criminals involved with it. So if you legalize, tax, and regulate it, it's a safer environment, it helps the economy, and it lowers crime tremendously. Again, this isn't just my opinion. We're talking about things that are verifiable here. We have different models we can look at to see the results. And to call keeping weed illegal a good thing and say that, hey, if we try to legalize it, that will lead to blood money. No, it's the opposite. Because of people like you, Chris Christie, because you're fighting progress on this, you've gotten us to a situation where there's more blood money. Over 60,000 people have died on the border in Mexico in a literal war, a drug war. And putting that aside, even though we shouldn't, because that's like the biggest factor here, people are more likely to do drugs now. I mean, we've wasted over $1 trillion in the war on drugs, and the result is little Johnny is more likely to try drugs today than he was before it started. I mean, it's been an abysmal failure by every single way you can measure it. So, Chris Christie, you're the issue here. You're the problem. It's your ideology which leads to the existence of more blood money. If you legalize it, tax it, and regulate it, the economy does better, and you lower crime. And there is no more blood money. But I have a feeling that even giving Chris Christie these facts, it's not going to change his mind. Because Chris Christie is not a guy who can be swayed easily with facts. He's more of a, I have an opinion and I don't care about the facts kind of guy.